Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with my review of Escape Room Tournament of Champions. Escape Room Tournament of Champions is the sequel to the 2019 thriller Escape Room. In it, Zoe and Ben, the survivors from the first movie, are pulled into yet another Minos game alongside survivors from other Minos games. Quick take. It's a serviceable sequel to Escape Room. Not bad. It's just kind of okay. Anyway, cast of note, we've got Taylor Russell as Zoe Davis. It's not. I'm not sure if she's a former physics student, but in the first movie she was at least a physics student. So, but she probably survived a Minos room in the first movie, but also helped Ben survive. Speaking of Ben, Logan Miller as Ben. I think it is kind of implied he's a former. He no longer works as a grocery stock boy. Just no longer works in general. But he survived the room with Zoe's help. He is a smoker. There was one point where he was nearly crushed in the first movie, but yeah. And him and Zoe have bonded and become close friends because of the whole thing. Now onto our new characters. We've got Thomas Cockerell as Nate, I presume former priest who survived a Minos escape room previously. Holland Roden as Rachel, also survived the escape room, doesn't feel physical pain. India Moore as Brianna, a former social media influencer who survived the Minos escape room. However, she ended up with a scar on her face, which pretty much killed her career as an influencer, at least. And Carlito Olivero as Theo, who also survived the Minos escape room, but is hearing impaired and needs to wear a hearing aid ever since. So, onto our spoiler-free breakdown of what's closest as I do to one with this. So, Zoe and Ben finally decided to go to New York City and try and bring down Minos. Zoe's been watching a building that exists, or that corresponds with the coordinates in the logo. And apparently, looking into the building itself, it's a black hole. Turns out that she and Ben have nearly gone to New York on at least three occasions. Almost always flying, but as they're boarding, Zoe changes her mind. She just can't do it, as she had the fear of flying. After a therapy session, though, her therapist kind of balks at the idea of her driving to New York, and so that convinces Zoe to do just that. When they arrive at the building that Zoe's been watching, it's apparently abandoned, which makes no sense because the surveillance the images they've managed to get from it, or of the building recently, show a rather active building. It looks unimposing, but it's been, there have been trucks going in and out constantly. But as they try to get into the building, a junkie steals Zoe's locket from her, which was her mother's, well, her late mother's. They chase the junkie into the subway, end up on a car with 4 other people. As things get going, the game starts up, and turns out that the other 4 passengers on the subway are also survivors of Minos games. Theo, who explains that because of the game he was in, he has to wear a hearing aid. Nate, who we learn over the course of things I believe former priest, had lost his faith, but in keeping with the fact that everyone from in the rooms everyone in the first escape room movie was the lone survivor of something. Each of them were in a room with 5 others similar to them. Nate, 5 priests, 5 other priests. The idea being whether or not faith would help one survive the scenarios. Then we've got Brianna, a social media influencer, with 5 other social media influencers. Rachel, 5 others who don't feel physical pain. As they progress through the rooms, though, Zoe does begin to note that none of them seem to relate to the past of the survivors, much as the ones in the first movie actually did. But they continue through as the party dwindles little by little until, yeah. So yeah, ups and downs. On the upside, it's short and doesn't really overstay. It gets over. It gets to the point quickly. Just kind of. It's less than an hour and a half long. The rooms themselves actually do look pretty cool. Well designed, and and the cast does a decent job. There's no one does a poor job, basically. On the downside, though, the differences in the rooms, honestly, between 1 and 2, feel like they're mostly just largely cosmetic. A beach instead of a frozen wilderness. It's just meh. The movie as a whole is fairly predictable. It's kind of it's that joke. Hey, let me, can I copy your work? Well, I'll change a few of the answers so it's not obvious. It feels like that. Make a few take the script, make a few changes here and there. Boom, we're done. But in fact, the ending is actually kind of telegraphed. The ending itself is different from the ending is actually one of the differences between the movie and between the 2 movies, and it's still telegraphed. There is a fairly major surprise that worked well, which and so I'll at least give it that much. But yeah, it commits on the cardinal sins of sequels and just kind of saying, well, this worked, so let's just do that again. Which, admittedly, yes, there is a, with a film franchise, you kind of have to do that, but there are still ways to make it different. Escape Room felt like the edited for TV version of Saw 2. Escape Room 2 felt like the edited for TV version of Saw 2. So, yeah. Final opinion and rating. Final opinion. It's not bad. It's just, a pay-by-numbers sequel that brings nothing new. It's entertaining, but only barely. And to be perfectly honest, it would probably be less entertaining if it were longer. So yeah, overall rating at, like I said, 3.5, or 3 out of 5, not a 3.5, just 3 out of 5. It's middle of the road. Yeah. Anyway, as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.